Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining TechBiz. It is just so heartwarming and pleasing to see you week in, week out join this webinar, simply because Eco Innovation Center, as a core focus, it's about supporting your business, even helping you start your business in the first place, supporting it and getting you to a point where your business actually starts to thrive. Because the bedrock of this economy, and any economy for that matter, remains and will still be small and medium scale enterprises. As Eco Innovation, what we do is accelerate and commercialize innovation. So very much tilted towards tech-based innovation. But then again, TechBiz in particular is to support everyone, mainstream, tech-based, no matter who you are. And for the past, I was saying for the past 35 weeks, we've consistently brought content on marketing, on sales, on strategy, building your strategy, on flawless execution, on legal, on attracting investment, on private equity, venture capital. So various dimensions of helping your business to grow. Even for people who are only just starting to think about it, we've had topics that have brought real life stories of entrepreneurs who had spent so long in corporate and then they moved into entrepreneurship, and how they did it, how they got to the point of building a successful business. There's so much we have learned in the past so many months, but of course there's so much more to continue to learn. But like I will always say, the biggest difference, what makes success, is the one who executes. You learn everything that you need to learn, but you do it. So I'm encouraging you, and I'm believing that everyone on this call, after we learn what we have to learn again today, you go ahead and execute with excellence. So if you missed any one, or you would like to go back to any of the topics that we've shared in the past, please go to EcoI Center, EKOICENTRE, EcoICenter.com/webinar. It's a rich library of knowledge for entrepreneurs, sharing their real life, tangible stories and frameworks that are executable. My name is Georgia Keruche. I'm a marketing specialist. I'm a business manager. I've grown businesses in various parts of the world for many, many years. But my joy is to be able to fuel as many businesses as possible and for us to grow together. This evening, you can see on the screen the art of selling yourself, projecting yourself, building a personal brand. And who better than Yvonne Ebi, a TEDx speaker, alumni of Oxford. I mean, you have such a strong pedigree. You're the CEO of Etiquette. And what I really appreciate about you, even the interaction that we've had, you have so many real life stories to share.
Right.
And we're looking forward to that tangibility. I can see that the room is filling up quite quickly, because every single one of us, the truth is, we're all selling, right?
Absolutely.
Yes. So please say good evening to everyone.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you, Georgia. Thank you, Eco Innovation Center. I appreciate you for investing in our young people. These are truly the future of tomorrow, for real. And I want to appreciate you for not just saying and having it as a mission or as a mantra, but going all out. It is tough to execute. It's hard work. I tell you, it's easier to just say it and not say it. But you're going all out. You're finding resource persons and resource people. Listen, please clap for them. Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you for this topic, which I have heard over and over from young people that is very, very needful. They struggle with this. They have the content, but they struggle with how do I take it from point A to B? And I'm happy to share that information with you today. So thank you. Well, I really appreciate you. Thank you, Doja. And here is why your attention should be drawn to this topic, the art of selling. Because people do not buy products, people do not buy services, people buy you. You are the reason why you have 10 people selling the same item and they come to you. Something about you, something about your presentation, Something about your demeanor, or something about your personality draws their attention to you. So you have to take note of that. By you. So how do you present that self to keep the market coming towards you? People buy you from different directions. They're looking at how you carry yourself, how you compose yourself. Once you are aware of this, you will be selling without being salesy. People spend time pushing products. That's not how to sell. You'll be exhausted. You'll be frustrated. You keep thinking, that's not how to sell. There's another dynamic and strategic and intelligent way of selling. And I'll show you as we're going down along the day. The focus on the brand is you. You are the focus on the brand. Take a look at this photo. And I'm asking you, are you a commodity or a brand? A commodity will just keep you at a particular point. There's just look at the diagram. There's just so much you can sell a watermelon for. $1.50, 0. There's just so much. If you are hammering on the products, if you're putting all the focus on the product, there's just so much you can sell a watermelon for. There is a known price. But when you turn it into a brand and you're saying, I'm sharing an experience, then the limit to which you can price that. That's why a bottle of Coke in a corner store is 100 naira. And that same bottle of Coke in Sheraton Hotel is 1,000. Very same product, because they've removed your focus from the product. They've put your experience, the ambience, the way, the presentation, the composition. So someone comes around, with a well-ironed uniform and serves you with a smile. There's music on the background, there's soundtrack here, there's a fountain there. It's no longer about the product. So in trying to sell, it is an art. The Chinese man says, to open a store is easy. To sustain it, to keep it open is an art. And we have to master that art, because there are so many doing about the same thing. What differentiates you? What is your differentiator? What is your unique proposition? What is your signature? That's what people are attracted to. What image are you consciously and especially unconsciously projecting? What I'm saying, in other words, is what are you saying when you're not saying anything? It is so loud, it's all people hear. You are constantly making a statement, and you have to be aware of it, because in that way you can walk around it. You can initiate the kind of statement you want to make. You won't be caught unawares. You won't be caught napping. No. What exactly do you want to say? You create that image. It's a mental image. I told someone about a story about we had some people in my school who were sewing, and one we only took clothes to her to mend. The other one we took her fresh fabrics to make clothes because of their presentation. They were both in the same location. But something about the way they carried themselves made a mental image about them. And based on that, we created a narrative, a perception. Perception is how people define you. They don't ask you, they draw it from what you consistently project. So you're aware of what you're giving out. You have to be aware of what your non-verbal presentation, your non-verbal communication on a daily basis, because based on that, they will size you up. We are humans. Humans use that. We use logical interpretation. No, we just use perception. So what mental image are you creating in your minds? You need to ask your core team, exactly what do I assume? Ask your core team, what mental image are you enabling us create about you? Are you aware that people are constantly drawing conclusions about you? People are drawing conclusions, they're painting a picture, a narrative. That's the issue with Africa. We let the world tell our story. Poverty and disease, and we are much more than that. We are brilliant. We're intelligent, we're creative, we're resilient, we're innovative. But the world wants to use the media to shun that, and we don't know any better. People are constantly sizing you. Listen, they're sizing you up based on perception. And I'll tell you something about perception in the following slides. These are stakeholders. They are the ones who determine how they are employers, they are prospective investors, they are partners, they are friends, they are people that want to be a part of your network, part of your life, but they are drawing conclusions about you based on what you're projecting. That's how important your projection is. You can't leave it to chance. You can't. You have to decide, and you have to be intentional. You have to be deliberate about exactly how you show up. You have to be. It has to be a plan. Now, we think it's coincidence, but you know it's a plan. You have to plan it. It's all based on your originality and authenticity. People are watching you. Stakeholders are observing and drawing conclusions based on what you project. Is that important? Because you're dealing with human beings, whether it is connection or network or business, it's about the perception, it's about the brand. What is your brand? Unknown to you, you already have a brand. What you want to know is figure out exactly what brand you're already a brand. People have already created a mental image about you based on what you've been doing consistently. What you've been doing constantly over a period of time, they have drawn a conclusion about what they call your brand. I hope that what they think you are is who you think you are. Otherwise, it's going to be some kind of conflict. There shouldn't be a conflict. I hope what you say you are is really what we think you are. That there has to be that brand cohesion. There has to be that. So what are you doing about that? You say you are a brand. Your personal brand is a tool that helps you convert your name into a brand. It is a currency. People, it is bankable. It is, when they ask you what is your name, they're trying to trace it. Do we know this name? What is your name? You can bequeath it to your children, to your family, to your relatives. Listen, your personal brand is bankable. Is that powerful? But you have to cultivate it. You have to build it. That is your decision, your choice. That is your own personal mandate. You have to invest in yourself because people are observing you, and some of them are stakeholders. Some of them are, many of them are stakeholders. Your brand is your promise. What that means is based on your consistent projection, we can tell. People can tell what brand is. And that's not because it is necessarily the truth, but because we have allowed them over the years have a perception about us from what has been projected, what the media has told stories and narrative about the concept called Nigeria. Your brand is your promise to the world. That's how the brands survive. That's how the brands live. You have a brand like Mercedes-Benz. We know what it stands for. We don't have to ask them. We can tell because over time they have been projecting a particular kind of personality. A brand has a personality and identity. So we can tell over time what the brand stands for. Your personal brand, what does it stand for? When we're describing you in your absence, what do we say about you? That is the brand you have been building. Don't get hostile if you don't like what they're saying about you. Go back to the brand drawing table and recreate a brand that you want. Here's what I mean. I'm going to ask you a question. What do dogs like to eat? I always ask the question when I'm doing my class. And I always hear the same answers. Bones, 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 bones. People say that dogs like to eat bones. Dogs like to eat bones. Dogs like to eat bones. But here's what I found out. Dogs don't particularly like to eat bones. Dogs love meat. They like steak, but they settle for bones. That's the question. What about that? So in truth, dogs like meat. Perception, dogs like bones. Here's what. I'm asking about dogs in their absence. And that's unfair. But the reality is that your brand is what people say about you when you are not in the room. What are people saying about you when you have to defend yourself? It's based on what you've been projecting over time, what you've been presenting over time, consistently and constantly. They have drawn a conclusion about you, and that perception is their reality. It will come to play when you need people to speak about you, to speak for you in your absence. Your brand is what people say you are when you are not in the room. So dogs like meat, but from perception, we say dogs like bones. So if you go for a party, you ask your host, he's gonna have some bones for my dog. Why? Because in your perception, dogs like bones. Dogs love meat. Have settled for bones. My question to you is, as a brand, what have you compromised? What are you settling for? Have you sold yourself short because you're unable to build a brand, or because you're projecting a commodity? You have to do, and you can't change that narrative. So don't be like the dog who is saying, oh, I like meat, but how for do, as we say in Nigerian parlance, how for do, at all, I ain't bad pass. No. That only happens when you constantly project a product or a commodity. You are the brand. Let's know about you. Let's know who you are. Let's know what you're made up of. How do we know? By sharing your life on your timeline. See, we can tell when there is a trend or a subject. Let's hear your intelligence. Let's hear your view. What is your position? That's how we build a narrative about you. We have to know you. Because knowing your audience or your market is so instrumental to what you end up giving, because the market tells you what they prefer to have to interface with you for. So you have to be aware of that. Perception may not be the truth, but it is stronger than reality. It may not be the truth, but it is stronger than reality. The truth is that dogs like meat. Perception is that dogs like bones. The bone is stronger than reality. So we all remember dogs for bones. We even have a quote, a maxim. The patient dog has the bones. Why? Because dogs settle for bones. That is the perception we have about them. What perception are you generating? What perception are you projecting? Because that determines how people place you. That's how they play the worth, the image, what they pay you, your earning, your price. Depends on that. So you have to take this matter to your room and say, I'm sick and tired of having so much content. But when it comes to the reality of payment and paid crumbs, it has to do with you. You say, I'm done. The day you say it is over, it will end. It is a decision from you. It is a choice from you. It has to be intentional. It has to be deliberate. And all the people around you are constantly drawing conclusion based on shared perception, not based on the reality you've been through. They have been to the best schools, but you carry yourself with not much self-worth. You eat funny. You dress crazy, ridiculously. And so people, based on those things that humans can see, and they do, oh, well, this is how much worth she is. This is how much worth he is. Perception is currency. To the next level you're going, you've got to protect it. You've got to preserve it. It is your responsibility to empower people's perception about you. It is your job. It is your duty. It is your responsibility to ensure people see you correctly. If they don't stop. Continue presenting and projecting the worth, the woman of substance, the man of excellence. It won't be long. They would come to terms with who you are. Not by getting angry and saying, oh, no. You have work to do. Human beings will first of all see you and ask you questions like, who do you think you are? It's by what you consistently project they can tell. And this affects the pricing. This affects, what you're earning, your earnability. You are the one to empower people's perception about you. That is your work. And it's all embracing. I see you physically or while you're speaking, whatever you're saying or not saying, consciously or unconsciously, you're drawing a statement, you're creating a narrative in our mind, a mental image. We can tell where to place you. And it's fair. We can tell where to place you. I said living perception to chance is an expensive venture. it will do you so much harm, much more harm than good. It will mar your career, it will mar your brand. You have to understand, are you building a premium brand or you're selling a commodity? Slow down on the commodity or products. Build the brand, build the person, build the brand, you. When you do that, everything else you are presenting will be seen in the brand you, with the same perception index, with the same self-worth and value. You have work to do. So your personal brand is our conclusion about you, but is based on what you have been consistently projecting and presenting. The personal brand proportional to your perceived worth. That is where we need help. Because we have so much, but we don't understand that our brand is directly proportional to your perceived worth. I have seen this thing happen over and over. Listen, it works. Your perceived worth is a sum total brand image. And people will only pay you based on your perceived worth. They will only pay you based on the perception they have been able to garner from you. And your earnability, your ability to earn, your earnability is hinged on your perceived worth. Your perceived worth is a summary of your perception based on projection. That's how human beings think. So you have to understand how they think. And I have so much content. Content, according to a study by Albert Maribian, is about sex. Appearance is over 30%. So the way you present yourself, the way you carry, the way you present your matter, the way you sell. If you're selling as you're selling, come on buy. There's just so much they can pay. But if you tell them about an experience, you're going to be intelligent. You're going to be smart. The advertisement, Maclean toothpaste said, be successful, be important, use Maclean. Why? Because they're showing you the picture. It's a toothpaste. They're saying, you want to be successful, you want to be important, you want to be, yes, here it is. So to you an ambience, selling to you an experience. So they're not putting your mind on so learn to do that for yourself. Share with people what I sell shoes, for example, say, I want to make it. How do you want to do that? How do you want to achieve that? It's by your presentation. In this zone, a book by the cover. That's my book. By the Yoshi Span. I am selling this book without selling it. Because people are not buying the book, even though people are buying. I'm getting orders. Send me 20 copies, send me 30 copies. They haven't even seen the book. How do they know? They're spending money without seeing the book because they've experienced and evolved. So they figured out whatever you have put down, I can vouch for it. Why? They've experienced the brand. So that's your work to do. It will take time, but it is worth the investment. Be original, be authentic, be you, build the brand. I read a story on Facebook and it really got me laughing, but let me share it with you. So here's what. Someone goes for an oral interview and the employer says to him, what do you do? And he says, monocotyledon cremator. And the employer says to him, what does that mean? I never heard about it. He says, sir, I roast corn. But see the way he presented it. I'm a monocotyledon cremator. Oh my word. It sounds cool. The guy roast corn like Bole on the roadside. But he calls it with a pretty name. He's able to present it. Sometimes you have such a great stuff, but you're unable to present it. The presentation is key. The way Apple presents what they sell is a phone, but the way they present it, you're thinking, wow, you can pay so much for Apple. Why? The presentation. When you watch MTN adverts, it's never about the SIM card. That's what they sell. It's never about that. It's about family reunion. It's about relationship. It's about connection. It's about people. It's about class. That's what they sell. They're selling you the experience. But what they actually sell is a sim. So my thing is, don't be caught up in the products. No, you're bigger than that. What is the experience you want us to anticipate? Can you build anticipation based on what you know? Can you share where we're going? God says, I'm taking you to a land flowing with milk and honey. They were going somewhere, anticipation, somewhere awesome. So what are we going to meet? What are we going to encounter when we come to you? People don't buy products. People don't buy services. People buy you. Look at this image of water. Water in a sachet and water in a bottle. Same content, but the presentation will alter the price. The packaging will change the outlook and change the price. How are you presenting yourself? I told a story about someone who said, she came out to buy bole, and she goes, how much of this barbecue plantain? Barbecue plantain, really? So the bole guy gets upset, but he has an idea. So he pulls aside someone and says, barbecue plantain, 200 naira, bole, 20 naira. Of course, auntie bought the bole. But that's how presentation is everything. Your presentation is everything. They say image is everything. Say, oh no, it's not. Image is everything. It can determine your earnability. How do you compose yourself? That's why I teach manners and etiquette and social intelligence. Because the way you present yourself can do so much for you. It can take you light years ahead in your career, in your profession, in your business, in your partnership. Why? Human beings look at that. How do you present your thoughts, your words? How do you, I wrote on someone's post. It wasn't even my post. It was Gary Vee's post on LinkedIn. I made a comment in his post, and my comments got about 500 reactions. It wasn't my post. It was his post. So when you have an opportunity, bring out your brilliance and your intelligence and your position. In that same season, I got so many requests on LinkedIn. I got collaborations, partnerships. Why? Because of a comment. That's how powerful social media is. You have a timeline and you have 1 billion guests on Instagram every month. What are you doing? That is your resume. That is your initial capital. That is your showroom, your office. That is your shop. How do you present your thoughts? The world is a global village. We can hear you when you speak, and it can be shared to unknown quarters. The mileage is powerful. Your remarks, your post. Another one, I wrote a poem on Simon Sinek's, a very short post. It was on LinkedIn. I shared a poem on his post. Someone took that poem and gave it and made it into Portuguese. I got over 300 reactions from one poem under someone's. It wasn't my post. What am I saying? What you put out there, the way you carry yourself, the way you present your thoughts and present your comments and your remarks and your posts, it tells people about you. Perception is groomed. I got all kinds of requests saying, I want to be your friend. I want to work with you. Why? Perception. It is your responsibility to cultivate, to empower people's perception about you. That's your work. That is your duty. That is your bit. Nobody can do that for you. And as Africa, we have that responsibility to change the narrative from what they call us to what we really are. I said, check your name on Google. What do you see? That's what the world does when they want to find out, talk about you. They want to find out, who is this person? They go to Google and they click in your absence. So you have to ensure that your online life, your visibility online, it has to be correct. It has to be on point. What do they find when they click your name to check you out? People are checking you out on a daily basis. I call them stakeholders. They want to know what you're about. They want to know your content. They want to know what you're reading about. They want to know how the world perceives you. That is your, that's why you know online. You have a brand and now you're being forward without you sounding desperate. No. It's done with strategy. It's done intentionally. It's done deliberately. It's up to you to make sure that happens. And once you score that goal, you keep seeing yourself on an onward slide. People will ask you, can we collaborate with you? Can we partner with you? They will look out for you because they've seen that you have something awesome to offer. But it is your job to put out work there, verbally, non-verbally, consciously, or make it a lifestyle. They get to hear about you. They click here, they hear about you because they hear about you the way you want them to hear about you. Fancy if Africa was known as the people who were diligent and hardworking and smart. It's our duty. We can't allow the West won't do it. It's our responsibility. We share our stories. You have a story to tell. Tell it creatively. Tell it with strategy. Tell it. Be original, be authentic, but by all means be consistent. Tell your story. That's how we will know about you. Don't think that, oh, well, they should know. No, I've been to, no. It's beyond what you have in your mind. It has to be visible. You have to show up. And today it's so much easier with social media. You can show up. You have a timeline. That thing is gold. You have a timeline. It is gold. Use it to your advantage. I know that my time is running up. I want to just like here the media is powerful, but if I can change that. We are not the dark continent. We have brilliant Nigerians. Check out Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. We have with our kind, we've had such a hard time building a nation. Even at that, see the brilliance that comes out in art and craft, in IT, innovation. See the things that we produce but we must tell our story. We must sponsor it. Don't just tell it and sponsor it. Pay someone to share it out there. A story, you have to tell it as a brand. You must share your story. It will cost you something. Pay the money. Get the media involved. Understand how the media works. Partner with the media. Negotiate with the media. Collaborate with the media. Make sure your story is out there so we can change the narrative from being a dark continent to a city of light. It is your duty. It is your job. I want to tell you that that's something you can initiate. You can do that. You can begin the journey of selling yourself by using your timeline. Don't go too far. Timeline. Start a conversation. Start a series. Share your story. Talk about what your life, where you're coming from, your past. Just be authentic, be original, be consistent. Over time, we will understand. We will create a mental picture about you, a narrative about you, and that narrative that your personal brand is. It is bankable. So I understand I have 30 minutes, and I think I'm pretty much done. I'll let you ask your questions. I saw a few of the questions, but if there are any more that you want to talk about, I want to say that a lot of it is in my book. I'll send the link to Co-Invest in Innovation Center. Buy the book, sit down, read it, and begin to chart the course. You are the one at the steering wheel. You have the power to go exactly where you want to go at the pace too. Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it. So I'll take questions if you have any.
Yvonne, let's say in South Africa, they just don't say anything, just the snapping fingers like this. Hey. Yvonne on fire. Thank you so much. Absolutely lit. You were just dropping the value bombs. The first one for me is people don't buy your product, they don't buy your service, people buy you. What are people saying about you when you're not there? What are people saying about your service, about your business? You as the business leader, what are they saying about you when you are not there? You know, you said three things. Tell your story, be authentic about it, be original about it, but you must be consistent about it, because your timeline is your billboard, it's your TV, it's your radio, it's your media, and a lot of the times it is just free. Right, so I'm going to be jumping from the chat box to the questions people have asked previously. I mean, everyone is really talking about how awesome. It's 30 minutes, but 30 minutes of fire. Thank you for your passion and your drive and your authenticity as well. So, you see, the firebrand in you is unmistakable. However, people are asking, for the person who is shy, who considers him or herself as an introvert, not good at starting conversations or even sustaining conversations, how can you overcome all of this to then get to a point where you are comfortable to put yourself out there, creating the image that you so desire? Help us, Yvonne.
You don't need to be bold to write. That's why you have a timeline. Because when you write, see what happens when you write. You get comments. That thing encourages you. Oh my goodness, this is the book. This is the first chapter. It empowers you. Conversation. So the comments you have, those are pointers. Even if you're shy, just in your own small room, right? You have a timeline. No one is there. Write something in your timeline and keep at it. You will get response. That feedback is huge. It tells you, I want you to continue that part. It just gives you feedback on what the market wants from you. The market tells you what they want to buy from you. They have the fonts, but they tell you commentaries, responses, feedback, what they want from you. So pay attention. Even if you're shy, it's fine. A lady who's shy and doesn't like public appearance, she joined my She Spark group last year. And 2 years ago, 19. Last year, she launched her book. She's always been great, always been full of information, but she was just shy. But as I began to post her stories, and she was hearing the feedback, she was, my goodness, is that about me? The feedback encouraged her, and last year she launched her book of poetry. So even if you're shy and you're reserved, and introverted, it doesn't matter. You have a timeline. Just scribble stuff. You will gather your tribe. Your tribe will come from there. They will tell you comments and feedback, and from there, strengthen. You will still, some people you admire are shy, but they still do it shyly. You don't have to stop being who you are. No, I'm so shy. They'll be like, oh, you're shy. I'm like you. That would like you're building. I'm like, are you shy? I'm worse than you are. So you're building a tribe by just being original and authentic. That's fine. That is beautiful. So people like you that way. Go ahead and there's no perfect kind of personality. Enjoy who you are and share your story. You will gather your tribe, and that will help you. It will.
You're so right, Yvonne, and I like the example that you gave, which is real life. I read a story once about a lady. She's a fitness expert, and one day she's a YouTuber, and she was recording her video. And guess what? She peed on herself while she was doing live on YouTube, right. And she just peed on herself, right? I mean, she could have ended the video. She could have done anything, but then she said, "Well, this is a challenge I started to have from the point I crossed 40." Who else had this kind of challenge? And this is the way I'm trying to deal with it. How are you dealing with it? How else can we deal with it? She completely pivoted from there. Because so many women, even men as well, experience that where you just had a leak or something. And just like that, by that authenticity and allowing herself to be vulnerable in that video, it just catapulted her business. Amazing. I want to ask Tega's question. So Tega, I mean, he just absolutely affected by your fire. But he's asking, how can I, as a public servant, bring this vibe to the public sector?
So the first thing you would need to do is because example is more potent than precept. I promise you, people are watching.
Say that again,
Know what you stand for.
Say it again, please.
I said, example is more potent than precepts. I said to you, if you have that one-man movement of what you will stand for and what you will not stand for, it will catch fire. It's gradual, but if you are consistent with it, you can also share your story on social media. You can talk, you can go into storytelling. You don't have to call the real names. Experience, you can have a diary of a civil servant. You have no idea who else wants to join you. It's just waiting for the person who will bail the cat. And you create a whole movement. So you have when you have that passion and it won't let you sleep, it means it's also a calling. Don't kill it. Start with one woman squad, but share your vision, share your story. I look forward to a civil service that is ethical, that is excellent, and these who will join you say, that's my dream. Oh, thank God for bringing it up. You never know who is watching. People are watching you, and they can tell exactly what you are about. So you're building a brand that even though you are a civil, you are a different breed. You're excellent. You're a person. You're prompt. You're timely. You're a brand. You are telling a story. You will soon harvest a whole movement of young people, middle-aged people, old people that have that desire, but didn't have the courage to come out. So you can start from where you are. You have no clue what you will do by starting. Show up. That's the secret, and then you take it from there. Show up. Yeah.
Create a movement. Create a movement. You have no idea what you can do by starting. This is the time to start. I'm going to ask you a funny question. Victor asked this question. It's not, he says, "Why are there two designs of your book?" And with its title, do the men have something to gain from it? So it's quite, so Victor is asking about the gender.
What about the his part? So, but because I've seen women who are so loaded sell themselves short. So I started this thing about SheSpark. I saw women said to me, "Yvonne, where have you been all my life? I have settled for less all my life." They were angry with me, but I understood what they were saying. So I chose to start off. Men are buying it and reading it because it's about personal branding. But I chose to focus on because if we can get the women up and going in Africa, particularly, where they feel less and they feel inferior and they sell themselves short, the women have content. But we second guess ourselves. I know. So I'm saying that but the men can read as well. And don't worry, we're trying to get together men. There will be a book for men called Brand of Bland. It should be out soon. That's written by another man who's my partner. So you should get that one soon. But my focus was for women to help us become better. Yeah.
You know what you have done? You have identified your audience. You have identified your core area of specialty and making sure that you are delivering the specialization. You deliver it and you deliver it excellently. Doesn't mean the men are excluded because there's so many men on the call today and see how much we're all extracting from it today. It's just amazing. People, please, if you want to ask your question verbally, just raise your hand on Zoom and we can unmute you so you can ask your question verbally and have a one-on-one interaction with Yvonne. Yvonne, I'm going to go back to some of the questions that were asked at the point where people registered, because quite a few questions had come. You've addressed most of them, basis your content. Thank you. And you can see even from the chat box, people have such positive feedback, so much value you've poured out. Thank you. In fact, someone says this is the very best TechBiz they've attended. So you can imagine 35 episodes, 35 different webinars that have been published, and this is the very best according to the audience. Thank you so much, Yvonne. So let me go to that question, which is about convincingly selling your ideas, especially to investors in particular, because money is the fuel, the oil of the business. How do you sell your ideas? How do you approach it? What do you propose as a way of getting that, of attracting those kinds of investors and then be able to deliver the message and close the sale?
Yeah, but before you find that investor, that's what I'm saying. It's such an easy way your thoughts and your brilliance on your timeline, so that when the investor is checking you out, they will not be confused. They will know for certain that this person is about this. This person, this is her life. So don't give the investor so much work to do, underground work to do, because you haven't done your homework. So, start out with where you are. What you're seeing is the end of the end vision. Don't be so overwhelmed that you don't know how to start small. It's a big vision. That's how visions come. Visions come in big sizes, but you must learn to break it down into sizable bits and big. That's by sharing. Who are you? We must know who you are by one click of the button. Let's not guess and guess in vain. Know who you are. So you have something to do. Start sharing. Don't share the whole thing. No, but give us an idea of where you, an idea of who you are and what your passion is. In that way, investor will have less work to do and just have to need to do, maybe ask 1 or 2 questions about you before they can make a decision. But do your own homework. Don't be blank on social media. That's where the world is today. It's like saying you want a job but you don't have a CV. Resume today, that's your business plan. So begin to share your thoughts. Blog, have a blog or something. Share your thoughts, share your words. Go on people's comments. Don't just like. It has no impact on you. No one knows. So you like something, so what? If you have a comment to make, think it through and present your comments. Put it with intelligence, with brilliance, if you want to add humor. But I write comments on social media and people sometimes leave the main post. Stay on my comment. I find it so funny. They stay on that comment because it's interesting, it's engaging, it's interactive, it's brilliant. When I have a thought, I carry my device and write it down. I don't wait for when I want to write it. No, I have lots already written down. Silly things, meaningful things, brilliant things. It's me. Whether it's silly, it's me. I have my Silly Fridays. It's me. So when I share it, I'm sharing a slice of me. So whatever they want to find about me, it's all there. You can tell who I am. God is crazy. It's true. Disruptive. It's true. You can see it from my writing where I've written something, even on people's posts. So I'm saying start from the beginning. I know you have a great vision, but start small. Begin to write down your thoughts. Begin to ideas. Begin to write on people's posts. Don't just like people's posts. What are your thoughts about it? Put it down there. In that way, we can engage with you, interact with you. They will come to your inbox and say, I like your thoughts. Oh, I like your profile. Oh, I like what you said about this one, your position here. That's how you build network. In that network, there are investors, there are employers. That's how you grow. It has to be intentional. It has to be deliberate. So why not start from where you're at and let us share your story. Let's hear creatively you want to do something. Let's hear your strategy. Find a way to pen down, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Stop trying to be perfect from the first step. No, that's who you are, and process. Enjoy the process.
Fantastic, Yvonne. You're very clear on telling us that we have to be intentional about creating a solid digital footprint in our industry, in the investor environment.
Okay, go ahead.
You just need to create a solid digital footprint. I want to unmute Young.
Okay.
Young public speakers. Let him ask his or her question verbally. Please, I've asked you to unmute. Could you respond, please?
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening. Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much. I would like to especially appreciate Yvonne for this lecture. I've listened to you before, and I've heard you oftentimes, but each time I hear you, it's as good at the dawn of the morning each time I listen to you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Please, my question is this. I'm sure you remember me. I've attended your program at Sheraton Hotel before. Now, this is my question. Since I have,
what's your name?
Yes, Josephine is my name.
Oh,
Josephine.
Oh, yes, I know.
Yes, I've attended your program.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I remember you. Yeah, how are you? Good to see you.
Very well, thank you. Thank you. Now, my question is this. Since I've attended your program, I have been trying, I've been trying to be consistent with my brand, you know, but I noticed that sometimes I fumble, I mess it all up, you know, so I've not been able to be consistent with it because I don't know, perhaps because of, I don't know why, but I want to get to that point of that ability to stay constant with my brand. That's the only challenge I have.
Okay, you know what, Josephine, don't try too hard to sell. Don't try too hard to just be you. Once it looks like work, it's going to be hard. I remember you were very good at diction and public speaking. I remember that very well about you. Years ago, I remember that about you. For me, that's your brand. Just speaking, it doesn't have to be a lengthy stuff, but have 52 weeks, 52 content for the whole year. That's enough. One day or something like, oh, don't stop saying where it is feel. That's diction. It doesn't have to be a lengthy and a mind, it doesn't have to be intellectual. No, just let it be relatable. Let it be real. We can relate with it. Particularly in Africa, there's so much you can do with diction and public speaking. You have a whole world in front of you. But don't think too hard. Don't have to be so, intellectual and academic. No, it's a daily thing. So just bring out, sometimes it'll be a joke, sometimes it'll be a meme you saw. By the time you can find 52 different contents to share every week. It can be videos, it can be, so there's thinking that it has to be, academic, it has to be, it doesn't have to be. I share silly things on social media. Silly, I call it silly because they're so silly, they don't make, but it's me, because the part of me is like that. So I share it, people find it so funny, it's me connecting with my audience. It's me relating with my audience. It's me engaging with my, don't think that it has to be always sensible and meaningful and academic and intellectual. No, just be Josephine. Be yourself. When you don't feel good, say, I don't feel so good. That's being real. I don't feel up to it today, but I want to tell you guys, I'm still here in your space. I'm rooting for you. That is a content. That's a post. It mustn't be lengthy and 10 pages. No, that's what we keep thinking. It has to be so well done. It has to be perfect. No, it has to be. Some videos you watch make you laugh. They are so silly. You're like, what is this? But it has 1 million views.
That's true.
That's the point, because it's about engagement, entertainment, enlightenment, education. It doesn't have to be intellectual. No. Some videos, what about this child? I think it has 5 billion views. What's this children's dinner? One crazy song. I'm thinking, who in the world is watching this? It was enlightening. It was engaging. Yeah. Baby
Shark.
That's all about it. What in the world was this? What people liked it. So it's called social media. It's not educational media or academic media. No, it's so your everyday. That's why Big Brother Africa had over 200 million votes in the country that has 200 million people. I didn't vote because it's kind of the concept. It's reality TV. It's people are tired of they've been strained at work, they've been strained in school. They don't want to think. They want to come and relax and have fun. That's how. So engage them on that level, and they will come up. Whenever I write love stories on social media, oh my word, like oh my goodness, because it's something that everyone can relate with. Same thing with you. Don't try too hard. Just be you, and you will attract your tribe. Then you will grow. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Yvonne. Thank you.
That's
I love
how it works.
I appreciate it.
Right.
Thank you, Josephine. Nice to hear from you.
One of the things that we usually feel is we fear criticism. So if I put this out there, what will people say? Will they, what kind of response will I get? What if nobody likes it? What if? But the point is, you are building an image. People are reading it. They are watching. No matter what it is, you post it, they are reading, they are watching. Whether they react or not, you will get to that point where indeed the reactions start to come. But you have to be consistent to get it to that point. Isn't that correct?
Listen, do it for yourself. Sometimes you have no likes, but you have the most engagement. People are how many things do you read and comment on? How many do you comment on? Someone, when you read it, you laugh, you even share it, you copy it, but you don't always comment. That's how human beings are. Do it for yourself. Be happy that you put it out there. One more thing. What is worse than being talked about? Not being talked about. Think about you, that means you're trending. That's a good thing. That means you're trending. You're in the news. Nobody who is docile makes the news. So the fact that you're doing something, even you're not doing it correctly, you're striving for perfection. That is great. I applaud you. That's something to talk about. It takes you courage to translate it from your head, from your brain to real life. Everybody has a dream. Everybody has books in their head. Anyone who can bring it out takes courage. That self-doubt and second guessing, you walk against and say, I'll put it out there no matter what. So it's your timeline, it's your personal timeline. Do it for yourself. And then whoever else, but do it for your own self, for your own records, and enjoy it. There will be rejection there on earth. Human beings, but continue. I promise you. And you'll be glad you did. You will be glad you did.
Yes. Yvonne, thank you, Mojisola, for posting Yvonne's Instagram handle. Officially, Yvonne.
Official Yvonne.
Official Yvonne Ebi. Yes, correct. So at official Yvonne Ebi, please follow Yvonne. I think, it's just been a wonderful evening. Stewart is asking me, why did it take us so long to bring Yvonne to Yvonne, somebody also asked, he's joining from Chad and he wants to know how can he access this book. Remember, we also had other people who joined from East Africa. Please let us know, how can this book be acquired?
Right. Well, I've had so much fun tonight talking with people who are very engaging, very hungry for something more. I've had a fantastic time. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, you put the link there. So YvonneEbi.com. Yes. Or .com/.
Let me be sure that I give the right link.
Thank you, please. Because obviously people really want to access this book. Or do you have an ebook that can be paid and then downloaded?
Yes, you can actually get a password to read the ebook online. Yes, as well.
Fantastic. So please help post the link into the chat box so that our audience can also get access to it.
Okay, I'm trying to do that right now. My phone just froze.
You know how it is. Life is digital now. You said it. You just want to get an ebook that you can download and keep reading. Yes.
Okay, I'm just going to get it right now.
Oh, fantastic. Mojisola has done it already. Thank you, Mojisola. www.yvonneebi.com/books. So please go there and then you can download the book. Thank you, everyone. This has just been fantastic. TechBiz episode. Thankful to Echo Innovation Center for supporting this and fueling this. Thank you, Yvonne, for taking on this absolutely for free. It is your contribution also to fueling the world of entrepreneurship, and we're very, very glad. Everyone, there's a poll on the screen. If you could just take on the poll, 3 questions. Please answer the 3 questions. Would appreciate your feedback. Stewart, I saw that you raised your hand. You disappeared again. All right. So maybe you can just post your question inside the chat box if you still have one. In the meantime, we're waiting for everyone to take on the poll. Yvonne, can you see the poll from your side?
Yes, I can.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, I was a bit jittery that the poll wasn't launching because, sometimes when you're the host, you don't see the poll launch.
Oh, no.
Okay, great. So guys, please answer the questions. We always are keen to get feedback from you, always keen to get feedback from the customers so that we can adjust our contents to what is useful and helpful for you, like today with Yvonne on fire. Yvonne, last words, please. Is there something that we ought to know that you have not told us yet?
Me or somebody else?
You. That's what I said. Is there something that we ought to know that you haven't told us yet?
About me, really? I don't know.
Beg your pardon?
Sorry?
I just mean any last words, any call to action that you would like to share with us.
You have everything it takes to become the person you want to be. Be patient with yourself. You will not be an overnight journey. It will take time, but be patient. If you don't like it, cry, but clean your eyes and return to the drawing board. You have everything it takes to birth the brand of your dream. Everything it takes. You have a brand drawing table, a brand table. Go back to the drawing table and you can birth that thing you desire to be, that person you admire. They have the components, the ingredients to birth, to nurture, to bring out that person. But don't quit and don't be discouraged. Don't be impatient as well. Just calm down. Keep doing it. I've made lots of mistakes. Listen, they're my assets. I don't joke with my mistakes. They're my assets. We are human beings. We are all flawed. Even the ones you admire the most have issues. We all have flaws. But keep doing what you know. Keep showing up. Keep showing up. Keep showing up. If you feel like crying, go ahead and cry. But keep showing up until you master the art of selling yourself. It's inside you already. It's nothing new. You can draw it out. It's innate. It's natural, authentic, original. You can bring it out from you and show the world the brilliance that you are.
Fantastic. Excellent last words, and we really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, life only rewards those who take action. We've learned so much from Yvonne this evening. It's about our digital footprint. It's about what we do with our timelines. It's about being intentional about it. It's about those three words: authenticity, originality, and consistency. Be authentic, be original, and be consistent. Not one post today, the next post in the next 6 months. You have to be consistent about projecting yourself, selling yourself, and creating the right image for yourself. Do it today. Start now. There's no time like now. Thank you so much, Yvonne. Thank you, everyone. It's TechBiz from Eco Innovation Center. Join us again next week, Thursday. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. You will consistently see the kind of information that we consistently share as well, and our value speakers that keep coming to share their knowledge. Have a wonderful evening, but please stay safe. Please be well, wear your mask, protect yourself. It is so important today. By the way, also don't forget your multivitamins as well. Have the right immunity, because we want to be alive and we want to live long to be able to execute and enjoy the results of all these things that we're doing. Okay? Thank you so much. Have a lovely evening. Bye.